Hello friends, if you're new to my channel, I want to say welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Why don't you go down and hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any episodes. For my fans and subscribers, I really do appreciate you. Today's topic, the Satanic Panic, white metal and Christian punk. Let's go! In 1984, the Christian hard rock metal band Stryper was working on a debut album they hoped would compete with black metal band Venom. By summer of that year, Venom's album At War with Satan had been pulled from the shelves of a music store chain over a potential breach of UK's blasphemy laws. Meanwhile, Stryper was on its way to becoming the first Christian hard rock group to achieve mainstream success. Their 1986 album, To Hell with the Devil, eventually went platinum. From the beginning, different forms of popular music, such as rock and roll and rhythm and blues, had their roots in spirituals, hymns, and church choirs, but by the 1980s, these types of music have become completely secularized. In his 1987 book entitled Religious Rock and Roll, A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, Jimmy Swaggart pairs the beginning of the Christian rock movement with that of the Jesus movement in Southern California in the 1960s and 1970s. In Costa Mesa, California, Calvary Chapel, pastored by Chuck Smith, attracted kids because it both welcomed them the way they were and hosted Saturday night Christian rock concerts. One of the earliest Christian bands to follow the rock and roll template was California's Agape in 1971, but it wasn't until the end of the decade, in 1979, until the first true Christian metal band was formed, and that was Sweden's Jerusalem. Stryper was a secular band called Rock's Regime when they first signed with Enigma Records. However, they soon adopted Christian lyrics, changed their name to Stryper, and started wearing two-tone spandex. Then Enigma made a distribution agreement with Benson Records. They already had a major advantage in mainstream rock, and they made advances in Christian rock. Many bands followed their lead, and sampler cassette tapes spread the word about unsigned bands. Even though they enjoyed much success, these Christian rock bands were criticized from both sides. Many Christians viewed this new music as subverting the gospel, while secular people saw this as a perversion of rock music's energy. The most lasting response to this trend came in 1985 when Bob Beamon founded what he called the Sanctuary Movement. Basically, it was an updated version of what had happened at Calvary Chapel. Beamon intended for it to be a refuge for Christian youth who felt alienated due to their tastes in music, dress, and social habits. Christian rock music began the spread of quote-unquote metal churches, which not only used this genre in worship, but also encouraged their people to adopt the metal look. Some even went as far as to embrace rock concert practices, such as headbanging. Even today, Sanctuary International is a relevant movement that has expanded and splintered. However, it did not succeed in easing the tensions inside or outside Christian rock. When new musical forms emerged, like death metal and hardcore, traditional Christianity fought back. One of the hottest topics in 1985 was backmasking, the practice of intentionally adding messages that were recorded backwards into audio mediums that were meant to be played forward. Many secular bands were accused of this practice as a means of subversion. Christian extreme music fans, as well as Christian rock musicians themselves, constantly walk a tightrope between mainstream Christian acceptance and support of the underground metal community. Thus, fanzines were established to connect fans, the first founded in 1985 as Heaven's Metal. This fanzine lives on even today in the form of HM Magazine. As the decade wore on, more music subgenres were born and Christian rock followed. Despite success, heavy metal and Jesus were very strange bedfellows. The marketing team at Metal Blade Records first used the term white metal to describe Christian lyrics put to black metal beat. Swaggart weighed in on the issue, saying his biggest complaint against Christian rockers was that they were profiting from their music and living extravagant lifestyles, whereas true Christians would not seek to profit from art made in God's name. So I guess we're just supposed to ignore the fact that Swaggart himself profited enormously from his book. Can anyone say hypocrite? Bob Beeman, who spent most of his life nurturing Christian rock, admits that the Christian music industry is based on what all other industries are based on, that is, money. He even admits that most Christian musicians do not have a quote-unquote relationship with the Lord. Jack Chick even threw in his opinion on Christian rock, just for good measure. In one of his Chick tracks, he presents a struggling Christian rock band named Green Angels who play on the church circuit for very little financial gain. Finally, they hire a new manager called Louis Siffer. This new manager promises them fame and fortune and also all the drugs, alcohol, and groupies they wanted. All they had to do was sign a contract in blood. As the Green Angels find more and more success, one band member comes out as gay and decides to marry his boyfriend. Louis, who is revealed as Lucifer by now, gives them AIDS as a wedding gift. This was written when most Christians thought AIDS was God's punishment for being gay. I'm not kidding, that really happened. Another band member overdoses on drugs, of course, because you can't have a church track unless somebody overdoses on drugs, while a third involves himself in vampirism. A fan gives the surviving member a chick track, of course, self-promotion, whereupon he discovers God's grace. Afterward, he confesses that Christian rock is demonic, and in the end, he advocates burning the records. This tract is like way over the top, because if Satan even exists, why would he even be interested in the music industry again? Doesn't make sense. Tim Lambesis, frontman for the band As I Lay Dying, described a time when they knew that their faith was waning and even discussed dispersing the band. They ultimately decided to continue, though it did make for awkward moments when fans and press wanted to hear their conversion stories. Well, friends, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, press the subscribe button, and if you want to know when I come out with new content, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. My Twitter, Discord, email, and PayPal links are in the description, along with the source that I used for this video. The best way to get hold of me is Twitter, followed by my email address. Please leave comments in the comment section. Not only do I love hearing from you, but it also triggers the YouTube algorithm. Keep learning and searching for truth. Here are a few videos from my library. If you have not watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Until next time, friends, stay safe and goodbye.